Remember this?
Yes.
You do integration, so the first thing you integrate is this. The most obvious emotion that happens. Yes? And as you become acquainted with integration, you start to integrate all that, which is half of your processes are big waves. Okay? And after 1 year of integration, you integrate that. You don't mind, Susie, I take your example? Okay, you don't mind. It's okay, I can take it. Okay. Susie hates herself. She's never good enough. And she did the integration, and she did it, and she did it. Okay? She told me this morning, I simply end up hating myself. And she said, I tried to let go of attachment. It doesn't happen. When I tell people let go of attachment, it's the wisdom of what you have to do. But any decision in your mind, okay, I let go, doesn't work. Did you notice that? Why? Because there are natural processes meant not to let go. Okay? So all the efforts you put in letting go will not work if you don't sink lower than what you are conscious of. And you have to admit to yourself, you don't know what keeps holding on. You have to first admit to yourself, I don't know. I have not seen the part of me that just jumps back into action and react to a letting go. Do you agree with that? You did integration. 90% of your experience you resolve through integration, just integration. All the big issue is just how you think. But you will get to a point, everything, and now I told you earlier this morning to a few people, we're going to talk about crusades, okay? There's a part of you that will make everything to survive, okay? Survival process is what we gained over like millions of years, 3-4 millions, I don't know how long life happened. When did the first cells happen? 3.5 million years ago, something? Approximately, okay. You don't have an exact day? I knew you were intelligent. Thank you for the 2.5 approx. That's better than my intent. I mean, you need to relax. I'm going to speak to you of stuff that is below your conscious experience. It means I will stir up, okay? Because it's wisdom that is part of the next step, okay? I told you I was going to tell you mantras, and it was just going to be mantras. It wasn't going to be dramatic, okay? That was for your mind to let go, for your mind to choose. Is it important? Am I going to kick in or not? But I'm just going to do what I'm used to do, which is give the appropriate wisdom for you to keep going on, so that Susie can stop hating yourself, okay? Since we are cell, there are patterns that are imbricated in every possible DNA combination, which is fight to survive. You understand this? Fight to survive is making everything in your power to have control, power, manipulation, okay? Power, control, and manipulation are forces in us that simply identifying will not work. Simply identify, okay, that's need of control, will not release it. Do you understand? Sometimes in integration it works, because you did attempt it. Most of you tried integration, and at a point, that's because I'm clinging on some opinion. Letting go of an opinion is easy. Okay? Letting go of power over your life, letting go of control over your life, and accepting not to go into manipulation to get to your end. That's a major issue. Because when it threatens your job, when you're ready to lose your job, because it's your means of survival, you will have processes in you. Okay? And before you can start to integrate and sink down the experience, something will happen in you, which is a crusade. Crusade is in red. It's biological based. Remember the pool of consciousness? We have one at the physical level. This is why I'm drawing red. Okay? We have one at the physical vital level. We have it on every level. In this, okay, the part of Om that becomes life force and sustains your flesh flows, and this is the blood. Okay? Your conscious pool of life is the blood. Okay? The gaze of Shiva that goes into your blood to give life, it's oxygen. You know, what has 21 particles? Oxygen. You know, 21, it's a 21 electron, 21, well, it depends, but 20, 21, okay? Mostly on the inner core, protons, neutrons, okay? What is 21? 21, the 21st letter of the language of the soul is Sh. Okay? Shiva. Okay? That's what makes it stir. Okay? So oxygen is this. This is just a little parenthesis on oxygen. Okay? Every particle has a number, and every number of every component is based on the numerology of creation. Okay? So if you ever want to take a periodic table, you'll understand stuff. Okay? So this moves. And you have your flow of consciousness, which is the electricity in your nerves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And once something threatens that, there will be a very intense reaction. Hi! I'm so happy you come. Good. So the faith is going well? The faith is going well?
Very well.
You see? This person spent her life in self-doubt. And I gave her a little speech. She decided to apply the wisdom. I asked her, do you have faith? And she says, of course. Oh, it's going very well. Other people, I give the wisdom. You need to go have faith. 1 year later, I'm so miserable I hate myself. Why? Because the letting go is not a decision that you take in your mind. The application of the wisdom is not a decision that you take in your intellect. Okay, I'll do it. You have to sink down in the experience and accept that you will not have power. You will not have control. There will be no handles that you can manipulate. You will have no way out. Then just accept that you will be overruled by a higher force. Then faith taps in. Self-hatred starts to dissolve. You came at an appropriate time. I'm speaking of those things. Okay? That was to allow the wisdom to tap in. What's a crusade? When something threatens this wheel, the power that God gave you, the power that the universal consciousness put in your flesh, taps on action. I have to survive, and I will. Blame. crusade is when the gift that God gave you does exactly what it was meant to, keep you alive. So it starts to deliver great energy in you, that in your intellect you can't just say, I don't want it, I want this to stop. No, it's stirring, it's battling, and it's a crusade. Okay? So you do understand this? Do you have issues in your life that you can relate to? That will just go to war? And what was so difficult yesterday is the wisdom I gave in the Tao Te Ching that explains to you the non-mind, non-action, and it just exists as. Now you have everything in you, and this physical, vital system takes over your emotional, mental system. It just takes over, okay? And it just says, no, you're going all out to war. You're going to fight your way through. Because animals do that. Why? Because before the divine essence in you discovers, I simply have to go back to oneness inside, it enacts its first program. Its first program was from the void, go out there in the densest, most natural place. That's the power of creation. Creation happened because of a primordial power, which is the desire to experience love, and this provoked an intense outwards movement. So, when we get to the bottom and something threatens this creation, the natural process, which was the first thought that God had, is go all out in the densest, most natural way. That's because that's how creation came out of nothing to become thing. Okay? You understand this? So it's not because you're evil. It's not because you're bad. But you know what they did to the Crusaders? They killed them. Okay? Why? Because they also defended themselves. Whoever they was at the time. Okay? Crusaders, there's a lot of stuff. What did they do to the Templars? They killed them. What did they do to anyone? What did nature, not other humans because of their ego, what did nature do to whoever went all out? Even in the name of God, whoever went all out, it became the law of the jungle, the laws of nature, that starts to fight. And this is not on the intellectual plane. You have powers in you that just start to act. Okay? So, like Susie told me this morning when I had a little chat with her issue about, I want to let go, I just can't. That's because you're still doing it in the mind. Okay? Take your right hand and tense. 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 Relax. Okay, just let go. You see there's still a tension there? Go in the flesh of the arm. And from there have the will to let go. Ah, true relaxation comes in. Okay? So, I asked you to tense and then release. There was still energy there. It was not enough to just say, okay, I'm letting go. Didn't work. You had to consciously sink into the body and be in the state of relaxing. You get this? Focus on your solar plexus. Look at the tension that is in your solar plexus. Relax it. Emotions will come up. Emotions might come up. Stay in the focus of just relaxing. Conscious application of letting go. Conscious application of not power, not control, not manipulation. Breathe deeply, very, very deep. Hold. Relax. Breathe normally. Don't die. Stay focused. Stay in there. Look at the tensions inside your body. Look at the tensions inside your flesh and your energy that produces in your heart and your mind the wanting to keep control. Let go. Exhaustive observation. Let go. Let go. Let go. Pay attention to the abdominal muscles. You'll see the tension. Let go. You need to practice at letting go. Ah. Okay, so it's coming in. Works? So we don't have 5 hours for you to dissolve your self-hatred, Susie. Sorry about that. We had 5 minutes because we're going on to the wisdom. Why does this have so powerful effect on your reactions? You want to resolve issues, you want to integrate. You go to therapy 10 years with a guy, the problem still comes in. Why? The difficulty is that this went so all out, outside into blame, into projection, that it left oneness. Okay? This energy was so powerfully invested in outside that it left oneness. I understand you. This works on the truth. It's from where this system took over that one. Okay? And it has to do with throat chakra, this idea of leaving oneness. Okay? This power went so all out that it left oneness. And if we stay in blame, this energy is invested outside instead of our pool. What happens to our physical body when we stay in this? It becomes sick, stagnant. Like any pool of consciousness. Your body is that. Okay? Does it make a link to your prostate cancer?
Probably.
Okay, try to find it. Try to find it because, yeah, now the prostate is kind of gone.
Right.
But what provoked the cancer is still there. Okay? You felt it inside here when I talked to you about lack of understanding makes you suffer. Okay? That's because the anger that you projected outside, indeed, they have to respect my prestige of that level of accomplishment. You know, that was blame. That was a crusade. Can you make the link? Okay? You understand the crusade part? And the crusade part is not an intellectual decision you take. It happens. Bang! I assure you there is no need to think for it to happen. The proof is, if you would think otherwise, if you would think peace and love, the systems would still be doing the crusade. Think about all those who have great religious wisdom and still can't apply it. I'm going to take again a story that I find quite funny that Jerry told me. He was once slapped and he decided to apply the wisdom and turn the other cheek, and his father got angry at him and said, "You know these things they teach you at Sunday? You can't do this in real life. Don't become a saint," you know? That's what he said. So, well, it's pretty cool. So what do you do to go back to the oneness? To bring this back into the oneness. Exhaustive observation is to stop the blame process. It's to stop the need to have power, control, and manipulation. Okay? Exhaustive observation and integration, one after the other. You integrate what you can when it's just there and you can't deal with it. You have to go back to the deeper level, which is sinking into it and waiting for it to reveal the truth, which is I, which was given to me by the power of Satan, will do everything in my power to keep you grounded to the most basic essence of your genetic code, okay? And you just go all out in crusade, okay? The solution to stop the crusade process is exhaustive observation. The solution to go back to oneness, prayer. You can't do it alone. Prayer, for my personal experience, I just sat 1 hour in my bed yesterday. I said it in French, I don't know in English, but Our Father, thou art in heaven, holy be thy name, and I just said it in French, I don't remember the English words. But I just said the Lord's Prayer for about an hour, and I went to sleep on that. And I noticed, okay, integration now will not be enough. I have to go tap back into the oneness. And for that, for me, it's the Lord's Prayer. Okay. Sometimes I do the 50 names of God. Okay, I do tons of prayer. I love them. Okay, I just go to the feeling. But there comes a point where I'm not saying the words. I'm just entertaining the state of being. Instead of Our Father. You remember yesterday I said, think bird, not the words. Think Father, God, not the word. Think heavens, all planes. Don't think all planes. Just multidimensionalize your experience. Think name, but not the name. It's just an association of how you to refer to it. Think holy, without the word. Get into this, there is something holy on every dimension. Nourish the states of being. Feel the experience that the divine experience rules the natural experience. Thy kingdom come, okay? Think that the will of oneness takes over your physical experience. Thy will be done on earth as in heavens. I'm translating as I think, okay, from the French. Feel it. Try to drop out of the words. Use the word once if you need to focus to understand. Go back to the meaning, okay? That will nourish you. The daily bread part. Go in the forgiveness state. By going back to oneness, there is a state of forgiveness that says, you didn't do wrong. You did exactly as your body planned it. You did as you were created. But then, separate processes, things that separate themselves from God, so separate entities, went and trespassed on one another because they were each individually acting on the power of God, which became the power of Satan because of separation. Okay? So, because of the reuniting with this power of oneness, the entire idea of who trespassed on who just dissolved. And forgiveness is not to say you did wrong, but I forgive you. No. Forgiveness is saying no offenses were done. We were just suffering. We were just stuck in suffering. It hurt. We tried to fight our way through it and it didn't work. But we were just suffering. Okay? And you sink in the experience of forgiveness and not the words. The experience of letting go, and then going through the experience of letting go. Because now you're not alone. And you see that the crusade blame thing just hurts so much. That you will allow yourself to relax. So you go in what keeps holding, and the power of forgiveness is true understanding that there was no offense. Stuff happens. The natural process of the body enacted on that stuff that happened. Let go. Not let go with the words. Okay? Forgiveness. That's a supernatural power. Because in forgiveness, this system stops to have power over that one. Okay? The forgiveness part is where we cease to battle the oneness. Okay? And now that whatever you have achieved in the state of forgiveness of yourself and others, just saying none of this is offense, this is just natural process, and natural process hurt. Okay? Because of separation. Does it help you? What's after the forgiveness? Oh, let me not do that again. Now that I finally got to the point of letting go and in the forgiveness of true understanding of what goes on, please, oneness, do not get me back in what tempts me. Okay? Don't let me back in the power, control, and manipulation. Please. Okay? Please, God, don't let nature assault me again. Okay? Free me from evil, which is the crusade part, the blame, the war. And do not submit me again to temptation. Now we'll have to give a little precision on this. Please don't submit me to temptation, and you really love chocolate. And there's a chocolate bar there. Don't be angry at God. God, you placed a chocolate bar at 1 foot of me. You tempted me. No. Okay? It just so happens that we're a chocolate bar. Okay? Free me from temptation is when a chocolate bar happens and my senses, my eyes, can perceive it. When I see stuff that cause me to blame, oh God, you tempted me. Please remind me inside not to pop back into crusade. Okay? Do not tempt me, or do not submit me to temptation, is please don't let me go of the oneness. Because sometimes, chocolate might be bad for your health. For most people it doesn't matter, it's good, but for some people it's bad, but they love it. So, and then chocolate is there. It just happened, okay? Temptation is inside the genetic code that will pop back into crusade. Go get the chocolate! Ah! That is the temptation. Temptation is not a chocolate bar outside, it's the feeling inside that wants to go back into control. And it will use power. And if power and control fails, they'll manipulate their way through it. Okay? You get this feeling of non-temptation? It's to stay focused inside. When this system wants to tap back into action, sit there, relax the muscle, as long as it takes. And deliver yourself to God. Say this power, control, manipulation to acquire physical, emotional, and intellectual wealth. You say, it belongs to you. I don't want it. I turn it back into you, because when I start wanting it for myself, it hurts so bad. So I give it to you. It belongs to you anyway. This kingdom, this power, and this glory, take it. I don't want it. Okay, so to you belongs the power. What's your English word? The last part.
For the power of the kingdom, the glory,
For thine art the power of the kingdom and
forever.
Okay, think that with the words, free yourself from the words, and enter the feeling of surrender. So I surrender. Read. Surrender puts you back in there. Take a deep breath, very deep, and hold it. Surrender. The power to which you surrender, was it outside of you, above? Can it just be inside you but a higher level?
After you surrender it.
Before you surrender it, always, constantly. This thing, I give it to you, God. That is separation. It means I let it elevate to the plane which is divine. So it doesn't leave you. It just goes back to soul. And the surrender experience goes back to the divine. But it's not God. It's God. Including this, you know. But don't keep your focus inside. That's separation from the outside. Don't keep your focus outside. That's separation from the inside. State of surrendering.
So is that kind of why it just felt like it was just there?
The just there. When it becomes non-local, everywhere without thinking about it, the just there, okay? Ooh. So you see when you were younger, teenage, and you just tried to work yourself out of teenage, and there were a ton of processes just taking over. Remember that? These processes did not go away. Adulthood is just enduring them. Okay? Adulthood is just saying, okay, fighting this is useless. Breathe. Do you trust me? Try to do the next part on your own. Close the camera. For expedient means I had the camera turned off while we did this little process. But for you guys to remember when you rewatch the video, I'm recording the technique again just so that you'll know, okay? So when you have a biological aggression inside you that wants to do crusade, what you do is you sink in the body, breathe and tense up, and relax. And you take at least a minute of contemplating what rises. Don't allow yourself to stay in the anger. The anger will rise, you know. And after a minute, you do it again. And you do it maximum 3 times. I noticed in my experience, 2 times was enough. 3rd time it just hurt my voice. But sometimes it's good 3 times. But don't dwell in this anger. You just sink, tighten, and shout as strong as you can, as appropriate in your environment, not to disturb other people. So do it in your car. I mean, do it in a place where you're alone. And feeling the rage. But because the thing is not, don't try to teach your mind you can't have rage. Just go there, okay? Feel it. Accept that there is rage, anger, hatred. Feel it. And just surrender. And go back into surrender. Om Namah Brahmaya Hum. I could not do it alone. And release. Okay? Okay. Do you see that regardless of the level of pain that remains, it did have a releasing effect because you gave yourself permission to sink into something that is extremely dense in you. And for a moment, hating was correct. But for 5 seconds, And once you're just consciousness of that, which, okay, I allow myself to just be a human being, that's how I was created, surrender. Okay? Now you have to just let the pressure go, relax. Okay? You want to cry, cry. We're not in therapy, but I mean, you can just let yourself out. Don't keep this in. Don't play the victim, but some people, for the sake of not playing the victim, don't allow themselves to suffer. That's crazy. Suffer if you need. Playing the victim is trying to get attention out of it. It's to work your way out into society, into a relation with people. Okay? And sometimes it's to be sure not to have a relationship with God. But suffering is authentic. And accepting the sorrow is authentic. I'm recommending you not to do this 10 times in a row. That becomes victim. That becomes just playing with your drama. Okay? Once, twice, give yourself 10 minutes of surrendering and accepting. With the decision in my mind, I could not let go. I had to go down in the place that hurts, and from there, with a true experience of it, let go. Not through a decision, but through a doing it in experience. Okay? And all this abandonment that was packed in there, you see, you feel it, the abandonment of having isolated yourself in your reactions in your crusade. How much, take the time, how much pain did you pack up in yourselves through the crusade process? Think about it in your life. We start in the teenage, but we go on as life goes. Be conscious of that. Pay attention and think. Just gently observe how much suffering you packed into your physical body, and these are the pains that just hurt the abdomen, just hurts inside. Because this energy is all out. Now look at your mind. Your mind, your intellect has a thought which is, it's all my fault. That's ego. That's drama. It's not your fault. You were made that way. Okay? If your intellect goes, I hate God for making me that way, well, you don't understand that you decided to be that way, because the part of God that created you is you. Okay? You decided to play ball. Crusade against God is an illusion. Crusade against you is an illusion. Don't give permission to your ego to blame someone else, not even yourself. Don't blame yourself. Just observe. That's how nature works, does it? Did I help you, Brian? Yeah? There's a lot. 100 times more than there is in the mind. Okay? So all the self-help that you learned was great. And all the techniques that you applied were great. It resolved the issues of the mind, the intellect, and the emotional experiences. It does resolve that. But you still have stuff in the vital and physical body that has ego. That has want to power, want to control, want to manipulate. That's in flesh. That's incarnate. Why are you stuck with that? Why can't you surrender? Because maybe you don't trust yourself. Stop hoping to trust yourself. Forget that. But Maha, Susie says, I still hate myself. Oh, that's just your intellect used to it. That says it again. Oh no, but I hate myself. Don't pay attention to that part. Pay attention to the fact that yes, it is working and I'm doing the releasing. There's so much more there because it will take time. Okay? Is it good for a warrior to understand this? Yesterday we learned 4 mantras on going into this part and reactivating the flow. Okay. Now we learned a bit about the destruction of that flow. Okay. Because the next mantras are about declaring, I can't do it alone. Thank you. Om Namah. And of course this will be in, again, the Sanskrit, in the Buddhist Hindu approach. Om Namah Brahmaikya Om. Brahma is the source of creation. Aikya is oneness. Home is the bija mantra of experiencing this. Okay. Om Namah Brahmaikya Om. Om Namah Brahmaikya Om. That's contemplating every part of me that is below source, as much the flesh as anything else, surrenders. Home is H, I express. Ah, this is the abdomen here. Ah, abdomen. U is here. U, solar plexus. Home. You know, the surrendering into the heavens. It takes here what you have here in the guts, in the sexual system that keep you dependent, in the attachment system of experience. Home. And you dwell back in this experience of oneness with the source, with the Brahmaikya. Okay? Home. I'm going to let you apply it. We take 15 minutes of break, and I recommend you all go out and walk a bit, okay? Isolate yourself if you need. Go have more gravy if you need. But I want you to dwell on this. You can't just take this and wait for it to be automatic. And it's not a mantra that even if you charge 1,000 million times, if you don't observe, it won't work. Thank you.